What do you do when someone dies with a revocable trust? These are going to be the steps that you take as the backup trustee to take over the management of those assets, pay off the debts that the grantor owes, and then distribute those assets out to the beneficiaries per the instructions inside of that trust document. Step 1 is going to be gathering all the documents that you need. So grab the original trust document, grab 5 copies of your death certificate, and then make sure that you are still the successor trustee listed on that trust document. Once you've done that, you need to take an inventory of all the assets that the trust has listed inside of it. This is going to be things like real estate, financial accounts, investment accounts, insurance, and personal property. At the same time, you need to be publicly notifying creditors that they have passed away. So just because you have a revocable trust and it avoids the probate process does not mean you do not have to pay off debts that you owe to creditors. A revocable trust only avoids the probate process. It does not give you asset protection from creditors for your assets. The reason being is that the grantor has been filing those trust assets on their personal tax returns, therefore they are still a part of their estate. So you do the public notification to creditors, they will reach out to you as the backup trustee, let you know what debts the grantor had, and then you take the assets inside of the trust to pay off those debts owed. Then you want to make sure you're taking the final accounting of all the assets inside the trust, the expenses you paid on the assets inside the trust, and then the debts that you've paid off to creditors. You're then going to file the tax returns for the individual and for the trust. Once you've paid off all the expenses, the debts owed, and the taxes, then you can distribute the remaining money out to the beneficiaries listed in that trust document. So the trust will give instructions on how you should be distributing those assets out to beneficiaries. Some of the options that you can expect to see is going to be an immediate lump sum distribution of all the assets out to the beneficiaries, or they may keep the assets inside the trust and invest them on behalf of the beneficiaries. Once you have distributed those assets out to the beneficiaries per the instructions inside of that trust, then you put together the final accounting of everything that has gone on. This includes the expenses you paid off, the debts that you paid off, the taxes that you paid, and then the distributions that you made out to the beneficiaries. You also want to get the beneficiaries to sign a receipt that they have actually received those assets and that money, so there's no conflict down the road, and you actually have proof that you distributed the money out to them. So now you have proof that you distributed everything out, and you have the final accounting for yourself. Then you can close the trust bank account, keep the records for yourself. If there's ever any conflict down the road, you want to make sure that you have proof that you did everything correctly. And then you're done. If you want help setting any of this up, click the link in the bio, fill out the form, and schedule a time to talk to someone on our team.